Call all Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakathum, to the sincere believers, the hopeful elect. So I just want to go into this lesson real quick, just touching on a few topics that are important in the news. So I want to start here. Young people are freaked out. Weekend climate change protest plan around the U.S. and the globe. So what we're seeing now in this time is, as it says in Luke 21, men's hearts failing them for fear and after seeing the things which are coming upon the earth. This week alone, this past week, you've had many calamities take place. You had an earthquake out there in Morocco that killed thousands. You just had a massive flood that just took place in Libya that also killed thousands. You having flooding going on, tornadoes hitting, earthquakes going off all around the earth. And people think this is climate change. That's the scientific explanation, right? But really what it is the judgment of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And it tells you in, Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, I believe, that, roughly paraphrasing, even though the scourges are coming upon the earth, people are still not going to consider that these things are being done for their wickedness. So even though these things are going on, the first thing in people's minds is not, well, you know what, maybe God, as the world says, is trying to tell us something. You know, maybe we should straighten up and get our act together. That's not the first thought. The first thought is, this is climate change. You know, this is something that has to do with everything other than what we're doing, which these scourges and plagues are being sent because people are wicked. And again, the word is going out. People are aware of the truth. They're aware of the Bible. So now people are just blatantly wicked. So the Lord must bring that judgment. Going into this article, after a summer of record-smashing global warming events. And see what I'm saying? They're saying that this is global warming events. They're not going to tell you that that the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, is responsible. They're going to give you a scientific, worldly explanation. And all this really does is keep people more in darkness. All right, this is a strong delusion from the Most High brought on by the devil. Because if people truly knew that this was from God, right, then people would seek to repent because they don't want these things to happen to them. But they're going to continue on in their wickedness because they're under that strong delusion. Advocates hope this weekend will bring some of the largest climate protests in years nationwide, including marches, school walkouts, and a major mobilization effort in New York City on Sunday. And they just announced that they are about to release a new Capri Sun in New York on Friday, I believe. All right, but you got these, they're talking about staging protests, mobilizing in the streets because of global warming. And this plays right into the hands of the elites, because Klaus Schwab came out and said about a month ago that there will be climate lockdowns. You see, there will be climate lockdowns. All right, they're going to bring back the CV lockdowns as well. So this all plays into the hands of the elites. This is what they want. So it tells you in Second Ezra that there shall be seditions among men, uprisings against men. People are going to march. They're going to protest. They're going to voice their frustrations. And this is all a part of that. So this is prophecy happening in real time. This summer has been unprecedented. A 21-year-old climate activist from Philadelphia says not only the heat waves we've had the hottest days in 125,000 years. And see, again, this is pseudoscience, man. How do you know how hot that the earth has been for 125,000 years? The earth ain't even 125,000 years old. All right, so this is just madness. Hurricanes where they aren't supposed to be. The skies turned red in New York due to smoke. We can't keep up with all the things we've seen. And like I just quoted in Luke 21, men's hearts failing them for fear and for after the things that they are seeing on the earth. Roughly paraphrasing, people's hearts are failing them for fear. They're bugging out. They're giving up hope. You see, and this is all from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Let me go to Give me 1 second here. I want to go to Isaiah 33. All right, because we understand what's going on, and ultimately we get comfort from prophecy. You know what I'm saying? We get comfort from seeing these things happen. While the people of this world, they bugging out, losing their minds. All right. Isaiah 33:5. The Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So wisdom, knowledge, and understanding makes us stable in these days. Because like we've been prophesying, starting with our elders and apostles, we've told you that these days will come where there was going to be calamity upon calamity. People will get no rest. It's just going to be one disaster after another. And these people are suffering. All right. The earth is in a state of mourning. But through it all, the hopeful elect, I'm not saying we not catching hell too, but we better off than these people because why? We have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. See, we have the fear of the Lord. So yeah, we're going to go through these things. We're going to experience these things like everyone else, but it's not going to affect us in the same way. All it's going to do for us is cause us to stay on that narrow path. You know what I'm saying? Cause us to seek the Lord even more. While it's going to cause these people to just go crazy. All right, so moving on. Arizona hit by devastating monsoon days after breaking 43 Celsius heat wave record. And I believe 43 Celsius, that's over 110 degrees. All right, so right after you had triple digit temperatures, now you got monsoon flooding. See that? More judgments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
The severe weather ripping off roofs.
Round of monsoon storms wreaking havoc on the valley overnight, damaging winds, rain, hail, leaving behind a path of destruction. From the far east valley to the far west valley, they are still cleaning up from the storm tonight.
The severe weather ripping off roofs, flipping over planes, and knocking down power poles all throughout the valley. Tonight, we're following the cleanup with team coverage.
Brian Webb's in Scottsdale checking out damage there. Linda Williams is in Phoenix, where crews are still working to repair power poles that are down. But first, let's go to Steve Nielsen live at Falcon Field Airport in Mesa. And Steve, what a mess out there. Planes tossed over, roofs ripped off. That was something.
Every building you see out here has some level of damage, it appears. Every plane, some level of damage. Really an impressive storm. Take a look at this hangar behind me here, though. This hangar was built decades ago. It has withstood countless storms over the years. But as you can see, it was just no match for the winds last night.
Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. He said this building been up for decades. It's been through all kind of storms, but this one came through and tore it up. Now it ain't nothing but a frame. You see? And these are the calamities that the Lord is bringing upon the earth. It tells you in Nahum 1 that the Lord has his way in the storm and in the whirlwind. Roughly paraphrasing. So you see, these people are being met with their demise. All right. They're being judged for their wickedness, and they don't understand it. All right. As it is written, the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. So these wicked ass people, they're just living in sin, and they're actually going to increase in their wickedness. But they're still not going to understand the judgment of the Lord at the end of the day, because their hearts are hardened towards Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So he's given them over unto strong delusion, and that's why they're going to receive these plagues. As a matter of fact, since I quoted it, let me just get it. Strong delusion. Because the Lord has given people a strong delusion that they might be destroyed. All right, because they love not the truth. Strong delusion. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 11, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Verse 12, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So the Lord has sent this strong delusion, this strong unbelief, reprobate spirit, for what? That all who don't believe might be damned, destroyed, okay, taken out the way. So it says Arizona has been hit by a huge monsoon and left thousands without power. Just days after a record-breaking 43 Celsius heat wave, over 32,000 people were left without any electricity after downed power lines left roads blocked and flipped airplanes on their sides. Following a devastating rainfall and destructive winds on Tuesday, the monsoon recorded 2.32 inches of rain in the last 24 hours, while Mesa recorded 2.13 inches after falling in a record short space of time. You see that? So this should just cause you to fear the Lord even more. All right, because when you look at Arizona, that's pretty much the desert. Okay, and now you're seeing regular flooding take place out there at the Burning Man Festival, which I believe that's in where is that? I believe it's either in New Mexico or Nevada, one of those states. But like I said, that's the desert. They're not known for getting floods over there. So the Burning Man Festival, that was flooded out. Now you have Arizona being hit with monsoons. They're undergoing flooding. You know, you seeing flooding all over the earth. China is getting crazy floods. You know, then you got Hurricane Lee coming. You know what I'm saying, which is going to bring more floods, man. So, hey, the judgment of the Lord is profound. All right, and it's only going to get worse. It's intensifying. It's not dying down. Let's check this out.
Flooding and water rescues in downtown Atlanta. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News at 4. I'm Christine Spiro. Fox 5's Rob D'Arienzo joins us live from Centennial Olympic Park. And Rob, what have you been seeing there?
Hey there, Christine. Good afternoon to you. Well, the scene here just looks so different. Even an hour or two ago, things are drying up very quickly, but you can see these tents here behind me in front of the aquarium just thrown around through the chaos of this storm. We also know that there was some water that got into the aquarium itself, but we do know that all of the animals are okay. Aquarium employee told me that it got into the seal and shark area, but again, those animals are okay. All guests are okay at this time, but now the dry out continues. I want to show you some video that we got a little while ago. This shows some pretty severe road flooding, and this is going to be in the area of Northside Drive Northwest and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Southwest. You can see those cars just completely submerged underwater. Again, this storm moved in very quickly, and then it seemed to move out very quickly. The water levels seem to be receding at this point, but again, there's a big mess for a lot of people as the dry out continues and as everybody just tries to make sure that all of this flooding recedes in time for the evening commute. And back out here live again, you can see these tents, and there's some pretty large puddles.
Atlanta flooded out too. So like I said, you're seeing this flooding going on all around the earth now. When the Lord brought the flood the first time, and after Noah and his family came out of the flood, the Lord gave the covenant of the rainbow as a promise that he wouldn't flood the entire earth again. But the Lord never said he wouldn't flood certain parts of the earth, you see. But this is why you're seeing all this flooding. And in the news, it's known as unprecedented events or historic events, historic flooding, historic earthquakes, historic storms. All right. Right now in the Atlantic Ocean, you got 4 to 5 storms brewing. They got another one called Hurricane Nigel, and they're saying that right now it's at a Category 1, but it's expected by Tuesday to jump to a Category 5. And you got 2 other storms, Margot, you got Lee, this about to hit. And it's another one I forget the name of, but the point is, you got a lot going on around the planet Earth. All right, judgment is here. So for you Israelites, time is running out, and the word is going out by the mouth of the prophets. Okay, so it's not no excuse. You know what I'm saying? If you don't repent in this time, you will be judged. The Lord will see you about your wickedness. And hey, the time is coming where you're not about to be hearing our voice no more. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau, he about to come down with unrighteous decrees. He's about to completely cut off the internet. All right. People are talking about blackouts that are going on. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying that this next, blackout is coming is going to be for quite a while. It's not going to be just a couple of days, or, you know what I'm saying? It might be for a few months. So everything's going to be shut down. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be hearing the voice of the men of the Lord no more. So if you're not built up in your faith now, and then when that time comes, you're going to be good as dead. You know, either you're going to get done in by the famine or you're going to get done in by the sword. You know, but as I read Isaiah 33, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that's going to be our stability. Okay, we know the truth, and the truth has made us free. So we have the strength through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to overcome all obstacles. You know, we are convinced of that through the spirit. Phoenix and Las Vegas could be facing floods due to massive weather changes. Okay, we don't really gotta get into that, you know, but just more flooding, you know, more sore calamities coming upon Babylon the Great, the whore. Okay. China sends 68 warplanes and 10 warships to surround Taiwan in major threat to invade. And we, brothers that have been speaking about this ever since these things have developed, that this U.S. Taiwan China conflict, this thing can happen any day now, because the U.S. wants to get in, gain influence over Taiwan so that they can set up, nuclear bases and, establish a point of attack in which they can attack Russia and China, those in North Korea as well, those Eastern nations. But what you're seeing is that the weak are saying that they're strong now. All right, these weaker nations in times past, now they got, jet fighters. Now they got submarines. Now they got tanks. You know what I'm saying? Now they got nukes. So the playing field on the earth has been leveled out. It's not just Esau, which is the hammer of the whole earth. You're just going around and bullying people no more. But nah, you know what I'm saying? These weaker nations have risen up. And it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua for the sake of prophecy. So China pretty much with this, they just flexing what they got. 68 warplanes and 10 warships. You know what I'm saying? Showing that, listen, they're ready to go into Taiwan at any moment. Because just like how America did with Russia, you know what I'm saying? They was trying to gain influence in Ukraine to set up certain things, and Russia went in there and invaded. And that war is still ongoing to this very day. Well, the same thing is about to happen with China and Taiwan and the U.S., all right? And America's European allies, they already said that they're not about to follow America into this conflict. They said if America gets into this Taiwan conflict with China, they on their own. And that goes into Revelation 17 and 16, speaking of that the beast shall hate the whore. So that's coming as well. So hey man, we are at the end of this thing. We about to get up out of here, but these are the things that you're gonna see. It's not for you to fear, but it's for you to keep an eye to prophecy and understand how close we are to the end. The People's Republic of China flew 68 warplanes over Taiwan as 10 of its Navy vessels circled the island in one of its biggest displays of force so far this year. China's grandstanding comes only weeks after the United States sent equipment to the self-ruled island for the first time in history. So you see, like I said, United States, they want to have a foothold. They want to have influence in Taiwan to basically go against or have a base to launch military offensives against China, and China ain't having it, because Taiwan really is in extension of China, but they're self-governing, but they're still under the jurisdiction of China. So China is still very involved in the affairs of Taiwan, trade, militarily, and politically, other such things. And they don't really like the fact that America is over there trying to turn the Taiwanese people against China, because the people in Taiwan and China, those are the same people. They trying to divide Taiwan against China, just like they did with during the Korean War. They divided North Korea and South Korea. They divided Russia and Ukraine. You understand? So China is well aware of what America is trying to do, and they're prepared to defend their backyard. Beijing has continued to claim Taiwan as an integral part of its territory ever since the island declared its independence in 1949 during the Civil War with the Chinese Communist Party. Relations have been tense since, and President Xi Jinping's committing to bringing Taipei back under Chinese control have only exacerbated the division. The deployment of 68 warplanes came less than 24 hours after the Taiwanese government reported another 35 Chinese aircraft had been spotted in its airspace. Let's go to Joel 3 and verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." So what you're seeing here, this is all for the purpose of prophecy to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Which for you believers out there, this should show you that the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua do not go out void. Whatever the Lord says is going to happen via prophecy, it will happen. And we're seeing these things happen right now in real time. So this should make you excited. This should make you excited, man, because you should know that the words that the prophets of old have spoken, and what we're speaking through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, it is going to be accomplished. It is going to be accomplished, and it's being accomplished and realized, manifested right now before your very eyes. Let's get this last one. We can get up out of here. All right. United Auto Workers Union strikes against big three automakers. And it tells you, this goes in the 2nd Ezra 16, right? Sedition among men. All right. So this is just one more thing that's leading to the collapse of America, the collapse of the dollar. All right. And if they don't make a deal, which we'll see what happens, but if they don't make a deal, or they refuse to meet the demands, that this is going to be a big blow to the American economy. Because it's General Motors, Chrysler, which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Chrysler is a part of General Motors. Dodge and Ram and Jeep and all those auto manufacturers, they about to go on strike if their demands are not met. So we're at a pivotal time now where people are fed up. Inflation is killing people. Inflation is deflating people's pockets. Okay, it's killing people's lives, man. It's stressing people out, and they're at a point now where it's like, listen, we need more money to live. We need better benefits because this economy is pretty much going to shit. So people are at the point now where if they can't work to live, then there's really no point to live to work. You know what I'm saying? That's where people are at now. So you're gonna see a lot of seditions, a lot of strikes happen. Remember UPS, they were about to go on strike a few months ago, but their demands were met. So like I said, we'll see what happens with this. But if something is not done about this is going to be a huge blow to the economy, and believe it or not, this will affect your everyday life. You know what I'm saying? This will cause more inflation.
We're going to begin with breaking news overnight, and this has never happened before. More than 12,000 members of the United Auto Workers Union walked off the job at midnight. This morning, the picket lines are up outside Ford, Michigan assembly plant. A GM plant in Missouri and Stellantis plant in Ohio are also on strike at this hour. Stellantis owns Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep, and this is the first time that all big three automakers have been hit with a strike at the same time. Chris Van Cleve is in Detroit. Chris, good morning. This is a very big deal.
Let me go ahead real quick, and we'll continue the video. Matthew 10. And let me jump down to 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. All right. Now, I brought this out, because this is division. Okay. The Lord did not come for everyone to be united. All right. The Lord said that he came not to bring peace, but a sword. And this division, this is part of, of that sword, So people are more divided now than they've ever been. You know what I'm saying? And they're even more divided because they can't have a decent quality of life. And right now, this is just a, passive protest. But these protests are going to be widespread and, more violent. All right. Because when people feel as though their needs are not being met, ultimately violence is the only solution. You see? And we're going back to 2 Ezra 16. It says that, neighbor shall rise up against neighbor. That they're not going to regard their kings nor princes, rising up one against another with the sword. Okay, so the sword is going to be a big part of last days prophecy. Okay, which the Lord has prepared the sword through the Spirit, put it on the minds of these people, that they're going to be in a very unhinged spirit, in a very unhinged state of mind, just not caring about nothing, the love of many waxing cold, people just, doing, the most heinous acts, and ultimately it's really going to be exacerbated because people don't believe in the system no more. People don't believe in America. The American dream is done. All you got to do is go on TikTok and see how many people are starting to realize that the American dream was pretty much bullshit. That this current generation, they're not going to live like how their grandparents live. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to live like how their ancestors live because America is done. It's time for this place to go down and to be judged.
Good morning, Gail, and it could have major ripples throughout the economy. Now, the stalled negotiations did resume for a time last night after President Biden spoke both with union leaders and company executives. But Ford, in a statement, said the union's asks were still far too great and time ran out.
At midnight, United Auto Workers walked off the job at 3 plants belonging to the nation's big 3 automakers.
We mean business, It's time to make a higher wage.
No deal, no will. Facilities in Missouri, Ohio, and Michigan, the first targets of the UAW strike, beginning 1 minute after their labor contract expired with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis.
It's about getting their share and our share of economic justice.
Union President Shawn Fain joined workers on the picket line outside the Ford Michigan assembly plant in Wayne.
The cost of labor that goes in a vehicle is 5% of the vehicle. They could double our wages, and they could not raise the price of vehicles. They would still make billions of dollars.
The UAW has been seeking up to a 40% pay hike, while the big 3 are offering about half that. Other asks include a 4-day work week and a return of pensions for hourly employees, non-starters for the companies. The negotiations had stalled for days and are now on hold until at least Saturday. Ford CEO Jim Farley.
What their initial offer is to pay our hourly workers about $300,000 each and to work 4 days. That would basically put our company out of business.
The union is trying a new strategy: strike all 3 automakers, but at select plants, and expand the strike if necessary. Economist Patrick Anderson.
And it's a dangerous thing to say you're going to strike just some plants but not others, because that's not how the industry can operate. And you will see more than just those plants shut down. if that takes place.
Striking workers will get just $500 a week strike pay. But if production slows or stops, suppliers like Global Technology, which makes wheels for several car makers, could see a huge portion of its business grind to a halt. A strike that lasts more than a few weeks could force CEO Dale Hadel to lay off some of his 2,000 U.S. employees. There's a lot of stuff in here that's not going to go anywhere.
Correct.
That's bad for your business.
It's bad for my business. It's bad for the economy. It's bad for my workers because, again, they're touching this product every day. Their livelihood is reliant upon these products moving. It's a tough financial burden for us, but if we have to furlough employees, it's a trickle-down effect.
Now, the union is strategically striking plants that make popular trucks and SUVs like the Ford Bronco and the Jeep Wrangler. Their plan is if talks continue to be stalled or drag out, they'll hit other plants with very little notice.
So yeah, you know, it's all coming to an end. All right, that's basically what you can get from all these things. You know, so the Lord is plaguing these places. He's hardening the hearts of the people. And as it says in what is that, Daniel? Let me go there. I think it's Daniel 2. You know, speaking of this last kingdom that would come, that it will be partly strong and partly broken. Let me get that. Daniel 2. Okay. Yeah, so this goes into Rome, which America, NATO and the EU, this is nothing more than a revival of the old Western Roman Empire. Okay, so this is an extension of Rome. And it says here in 41, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it the strength of iron, which that iron, all right, goes into the military might of this last beast. Okay, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. So the kingdom is strong militarily. You know, even at one point it was strong politically, diplomatically. But what are you seeing now? You're starting to see the people rise up against the government. And why? Because really, when you look at the way that Esau runs his society, it's really the elites against everybody. You know, now there was a time when Edomites, they had that, you know, blessing, or they had a portion of it to where, you know, they could live better than Jake and, you know, all the other nations. But now that the Edomites can't live good no more, now they fed up. Now they about to start, you know, chopping off heads, man. You know what I'm saying? They about to get it in with the government. So this is, you know, that you know, partly strong, the kingdom being partly strong and also partly broken. You know what I'm saying? This is a broken system. So this is just the beginning of the end. You know what I'm saying? Going into, you know, the latter part of this year into next year, 2024. You know, things are going to get significantly worse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and end this lesson right here. Hopefully it was edifying through the Rakah Kedash. In closing, call halal. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rakah Kedash. And until next time, shalom to the elect.